We are international. We are international here. So are you ready to get in the mix? We are ready to discuss everything that we are going to discuss. Why? Because that's just what we do. We do it here and we do it live. We are ATL bound. We are South Fulton already all day. Georgia grown, South Fulton made. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Who's on here tonight? Who is on here? Who is on here? Are you with me?
How you doing, Brother Reeves?
Hey man, best day of my life. How you doing today, sir? We are in the studio. We are coming live in the studio. We are, hey, this is gonna be a new platform. We are global now, okay? We are absolutely a global brand. We are going global. We have your questions. We have your solutions right here. Are y'all ready to take it to the next level? Are y'all ready to take it to the next level? I can't hear nobody.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We got one. We got one. We got one. How about we got two? Do we got any more?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. It is 2023. We own it. Happy New Year to everybody. How has the year been treating you so far?
Great start for me, sir.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Larry, did they get with you to answer your question?
He did, but the solution was still pretty much the same. But we passed that now.
All right. Let's move forward. All right, we are 1 minute to 6:30. We're gonna start this call. We're gonna start this call off. And we have special guests tonight. We have the new District 7 Council Representative to be on. And I want her to be first up. Is she on? Is she on this call right now? Hold on, let me get rid of some of this background noise, okay? Because this is a slow celebration today. Happy MLK Day for all the dreamers out there. So have you made your dream a reality? Again, have you made your dream a reality? Let's get ready to talk about that. Hold on. All right, it's 6:30. Let's go. Let's go. Linda Pritchett, are you on tonight? Well, we'll wait till she come on. And so let's talk about some of the issues that we are having coming up. Chandra Simmons, I see that you're on tonight, and we have this SD's the zoning hearing that's coming up. What do you have to say about that, Ms. Chandra?
The zoning hearing guest coming up. I will be at that meeting. I will be at that meeting tomorrow. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
I will be there too, Corey.
Oh, we want you. We want everybody who is possible to be there, to be in the building. As that they did send an email and said that they will consider this maximum capping out at 33 homes and no more than that. That is 6 above what they can build already. So that I'm not really inclined to move forward, because just based on our own comprehensive plan, it says that just, that no building or no subdivision shall be built. That being said, I cannot do anything about what is already current on in the R3 zoning. And so that means they can construct 27 homes. Chandra, thank you for doing your homework out there and for being one of the best parts of the city of South Fulton and getting that answer for the parcels in, because we wanted to have the ingress egress to come out through off of Rural 85, and that the subdivision of Sable Chase owns 3 parcels of that land, and then the portion of that outside of that is owned by East Union City. So that will be a challenge. And one of the things that didn't want to have happen was to cut into Estes and to Ravenswood onto those dead end streets. So I can't really say how we're going to move forward, but I do hear the strong sentiments of knowing that what cannot happen, what we want to do, so that But at the same time, let me just say that the houses that they can build can go forward and they can cut into the street. And that is 27 homes, and that is cutting into Ravenswood and into ST. So, but they want to do 3 more. So that's the unfortunate news. And I said, well, why can't we do nothing about that? Because that was done in Fulton County before the Corey impact area was enacted. So that being said, we'll have a meeting, and whatever the community wants to do and whatever that we can do, that, you know, negotiations are now, and this is the time to get it done. And so, but however we move, we will move forward, and we will move towards the achievable goal for both parties. So, all right. Ms.
So
Pritchett,
that,
are you on? Go ahead, Chandra.
so what was your experience with that hard rain we had last week?
Oh my God, like, yeah, but that hard rain, it is, that wind came through like a cyclone around my back of my house. And it's just, you know, I had to do some cleaning up around the house and stuff. And so it was interesting. And so that's why, and ladies and gentlemen, that's why we did postpone the meeting from last week, is because of the tornado warning. And that tornado did touch down. It touched down, came right through some of our areas, knocked down some trees. And so, and all I'm doing is we want to make sure that we maintain and keep a safe environment for everything to happen. And so that's one of the things that we wanted to do. I was in that because I was ready for you. I got me a little fresh cut. And so, you know, Tamika was calling me. She was like, hey, but this is why we do things and we share. And that's why I love collaborations, because she made a game time decision, because, you know, at the barbershop, that's our little therapy place where we could go to. So I don't usually carry my phone in. And at the time that they had called, because the city had shut down everything at 2 o'clock. And so Tamika was able to make that call. And so that's why our mindsets are aligned and we are a team. And so, and when I got back to her, she said, I had to make a game day call. And so that was the appropriate call and what we wanted to do, because we want to make sure that everybody's safe, and whatever we do, we're going to make sure it's in a safe environment. So, but I was ready. I was, you know, we was ready to have this conversation. And so we're not going to run from it. That's why we had this conversation tonight, and we're going to have it tomorrow, and then we're going to have Wednesday as well. And so, but we want you guys, let me be very clear. The reason why we're having this meeting is because we want you guys to have the very input. We took the time out to educate the people and get people educated. We took them on a tour of what cottage homes look like, that has a 250 square foot minimum of floor heated space of 250 square feet. And so we wanted to show what that looks like. And so we already have on the books in Suburban 2 and a minimum floor heated space of 450 square feet. And in the duplex, is 700 total square feet with 350. So we do want to educate the people on that, of what they can build now, but we do want to take it down to a minimum, and we show what that cottage home style looks like. And as we took a tour of that, and so, but I want your input on what areas that we can put it in, or what, that is the whole comment. It's not about the legislation. It is about where the people here could agree to what areas do we want them to be put in, where, what it would look like, and where it can go. So I want to be very clear on the reason on why we're meeting. And because this is your input, this is not me throwing it on you. This is me just advocating for people who want to develop and who want to build and want to come to our community and build these type of communities, that you have an input on where it goes. And so this is what this whole conversation is about. I do not believe in one-offs. I do not believe in running things down people's throats. I believe in it's collective. It's something that we can agree upon, because when the time comes for the legislation to come up, then the support will be there, and it will be driven by the community, because we already went through the process of going through the community to put this in. So this is not something that I want, not something for a specific developer. There's no development on the menu for this. It is absolutely just build it and they will come type of mentality. And so, but this is a collaboration with your input. Believe that. It's strictly with your input. And so that's what we want to do. All right. So, Ms. Linda Pritchett, are you on the call? Is Ms. Linda Pritchett on the call? Well, she's not on the call yet. Is she coming on?
I don't see her on the call. I don't see her on the call, Councilman.
All right. Well, we do have something here. We do have Chandra on the call, and we do have Ms. Carmen Ferguson on the call. Ms. Carmen, as we had talked the last time about making things a historical district, you did say keep the number 50 in mind. And so we do have the number 57 of the years that this community has been erected on Ravenswood and on STs. And so we was looking at making that an historical district or a historical community. Since you are on the call, can you give us the process on what that will be and what that looks like? Hello, Ms. Ferguson? Hey, Jane. Oh, there it is. Oh, yes, we are going. Yes. Real Lake Race 2023. We are going to own it this year. Who you're talking about? B5. Yes, indeed. So we don't come with the key problem. We do come with solutions. Ms. Ferguson, are you on the call? Ms. Ferguson?
I don't see Miss Ferguson.
Carmen Ferguson? Oh, okay. I thought I saw.
Oh, Carmen, is it Carmen Ferguson?
Yes.
Oh, she's on the call. She's just muted.
Ms. Ferguson, can you unmute? Because we do have a situation where we do have a Ravenswood community of 57 years old, and you told us that the number was 50 and would be considered to be a historical district or a historical subdivision. So can you shed some light on this? Or what's the process of making that a historical community?
I'm sorry. Can you, I was doing something. Can you say that again, please?
Yes, we have Chandra Simmons on the call, and she is of the Ravenswood community, and that community is 57 years old. And we was looking at making that a historical community because there is something that is in the back in between the forest that is used to look like, I don't know, it used to be something, I don't know what it is, but to get that dubbed a historical community, I know that, you know, the number was 50, and so they are 57 years old. Chandra can shed more light on that. And so could you give us some, how would they go about, because you're on our historical landmark committee, how can they go about getting with you and then seeing if they're getting that a designation of a historical community?
Right. At one point, the councilmen were putting the form that we are using online. There is a form that anyone can submit to us, and we, you know, go over it and we try to do some research on it to find out anything significant about the community. But the fact that things are 50 years old or older, that in itself makes them, what am I trying to say? Makes them eligible, at least for probably consideration for that, but it shouldn't be a problem as long as we know when the community was established and so anything significant about the community. But there is a form that if you go online under your councilman's page, Corey, don't you have, didn't you at one point you were putting that form online? I'm trying to think of what it's under. If you pull up the historic and cultural preservation landmark under the city of South Fulton, it should have that form on it. And anyone can submit what they think is a historical landmark that's 50 years or older. And we can do research on that and, you know, add it to our publication that we'll be putting out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Chandra, did you get that?
Ms. Ferguson, this is Chandra Simmons. How are you doing, ma'am?
Fine, thank you.
Good. So as Councilman Reeves stated to you, I am one of the residents in the Ravenswood Drive community.
Okay.
And so I want to have access to that form. And I did hear you say that I can go to the City of South Fulton's website and look for a tab that says Historic and Cultural Preservation Landmark. And
Right.
there's a document there that anyone can fill out.
Right, and submit it to our committee, and we'll be going over.
Okay,
all of-
so how can I, so once I go to that form, is the return information or is the information listed as to who I can email that document to? And
It's-
can I follow up with you per
You
se?
can certainly follow up with me. It should be,
Uh-oh, you're breaking up. I can't hear you at this time. I can't hear
was-
anybody. I couldn't hear anything you just said. I'm in my car right now, just getting off from work. But can you repeat what you just stated as to where, you said something after I asked if I could follow up with you regarding submitting that document.
right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There should be a way for you to do a return to our PO box, our email, but that you just do a short, brief write-up and you put the person's name that could give us history on that. And we do a research about it. And I was making a point of saying what we did was to divide each of us into different areas. Like some people are looking at landmark churches, some are looking at post office, etc. And I'm looking at neighborhoods because my neighborhood, Ponderosa, is over 50 years as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I'll be glad to, get that information from you. But I
So-
do need to go back and check on the website. Mr. Reeves, I know in the beginning you all sent that form out. Do you know if it's still showing up on the City of South Fulton's website?
I'm not sure, but we will find out before the end of this call. And so this administration will get on that right now to get that information and to see if that information is accurate and still correct on our website, on the City of South Fulton's website.
Very good.
And Ms. Ferguson, is there any way that I can get your contact information so that I could follow up with you within the next 24 hours regarding this matter?
Okay. Well, I could give you my email address, or what do
Okay.
you want? I can.
Well,
I don't want to take up everybody else's time.
Oh, no, I'll tell you what we will do. We will go ahead and we will send this administration will send an email between a group email so that y'all can have each other's contact information and move forward in this manner.
awesome.
And so that's what we'll
so
do.
much.
Yes.
Thank
Hey,
you.
no problem. And if those who don't know, Chandra Simmons is also the proprietor of Rooted Affirmations. And so we do have a community garden of hydroponics and aquaponics right here in our community, located right off Buffalo Road on Ravenswood. And so we will be discussing more of that as that materializes and manifests into the future. And so also too, Ms. Simmons, there is an ARC grant that you can get to keep that going. I will get with you offline about that. And that's the information that I just got that was shared from me from one of my colleagues. So we will be giving you that information.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But we do have the Linda Pritchett, the council member, the councilwoman, the paralegal attorney extraordinaire representing District 7, who just won, on the line. Linda Pritchett, how are you?
I'm doing good, Mayor Pro Tem, Councilman Reeves. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much for having invited me on this call.
Right. I love the backdrop. That just signifies you right there. It's all you right there. Absolutely. And so This is my esteemed colleague over here and who represents District 7, and now we are, she has made us this DS whole. So I'm gonna let her have the floor to tell you what her plans are and what her goals are and for District 7 and for the city and how she sees that she can help move this city forward in a positive manner. Go ahead, Ms. Pritchett, you have the mic.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Corey Reeves, who I affectionately call High Five. And excuse the background noise, I apologize for that. But again, I'm very honored to be here this evening. My name is Linda Pritchett, and I am the Councilwoman of District 7, which includes areas of Old National, Bethsaida Road, Highway 138, the Oakley Industrial Area, Oakley Township, the Renaissance community. So it's a very diverse area. We're primarily a residential area. We don't really have too many businesses in our district. The businesses that we do have start on Bethsaida Road, on Old National to 138. So it's like a walking distance worth of a plaza. And we also do have the plaza across from Rick Ross's house where Mr. Everything is, and we have a new Wendy's there. So I'm very excited to be number 7, the newest member on the council. And primarily the reason that I ran and that I wanted to be on the council is because as a new city, we wanted to have self-determination, and we wanted to make sure that we were involved and had a say-so and had input on the delivery of municipal services. So at this point, I feel that it's very important that we're all in providing the best ideas and the best efforts that we can put forward to helping people get the municipal services that they deserve, as well as just making sure that people will be able to see what good government looks like. So I have my sleeves rolled up, I have lots of energy, I have lots of ideas, and I feel that I have a lot to contribute that will be positive for the city, that will help us move forward since we are just 5 years old. And so some of the things that I have been doing is Saturday, we had a community cleanup on Fayetteville Road, which is in the Oakley Township area of the district. It seems that for some reason we're having a lot of littering and trash dumping throughout the city. I don't know where that came from. I think it's a mindset, and I am committed to breaking that mindset because I believe that the people that live in our city value and appreciate their communities, their subdivisions, and the streets. And I don't think that throwing trash on the side of the road is a smart thing to do. It's actually illegal. And I'm committed to forming a campaign to dissuade people from doing that. And I do look forward to tickets being written when you identify people who are basically trashing our city, which prevents us from moving forward in a positive way towards community development, towards economic development. If we don't have a clean city, we're not making a good impression, and we're not even having we're not even enjoying the quality of life that we're looking for. So I'm committed to those things. I know that people feel that our public works department could be doing more in terms of picking up trash and things like that. And there are a lot of citizens that are really mad and upset about, public works not picking up the couch that they saw on Old National or the water heater that they saw off of Creole Road. But somebody put it there. And so I want to focus the attention on the people that are doing us wrong. It could be our kids, our neighbors, or people that just have the wrong mindset. And we're just going to have to lead by example and show that we're going to be no tolerance when it comes to things like that. So that's one big issue. Another initiative of mine, we've had a dangerous intersection that I think people have heard about, which is on Highway 138, which is known as Jonesboro Road, and Bethsaida Road. We've had many fatalities there throughout the years, and we're at a point that we're going to get a traffic signal installed within the next 90 days. That's only going to be a temporary measure because we're slated to have a roundabout in that area or on that intersection so that we can slow down some of the speed from Old National to Bethsaida Road or to actually Buffington Road. It's about a 3 to 4 mile stretch where people have no reason to stop other than just to drive safely. And so I've asked our police chief, Chief Meadows, to install a traffic monitoring device, a speed monitoring device. And I've also asked him to have officers ready to write tickets. So I'm on a no tolerance, you speed, you pay initiative, because we can't continue to have people hurt. We can't continue to have people losing their lives just trying to get on the road. And then we can't have the people that live in those communities to continue to live in fear that every time they try to come out onto the road, that they may get hurt, or that their neighbors will get killed, or that even as a pedestrian, that you'll get killed or you'll get hurt. So I'm just about doing some practical things and, you know, just putting our hands to the plow and getting some things done in our community that we have neglected or that we just haven't gotten around or gotten together doing. And so on the 23rd of January, I will be hosting my first town hall that will be at the Gladys Estenard Library, which is known as Flat Shoals Library. And we will have presentations from the police department that will be going over a community crime watch program and how the subdivisions in District 7 can be involved in that. We will also have presentations from Public Works that'll be talking about the sanitation plan and that contract and just the different issues that we've been facing with sanitation. They'll be going over questions and answers. I'll be introducing myself and just talking about my community newsletter, which I've been publishing for 10 years, that reaches about 4,000 people, and just keep making sure that people are informed, that people get information from me based on the different meetings, the different presentations that I receive. I want to make sure that we have people that are informed and that are educating on what's going on in their city. And then also that they're always able to contact me, whether it be via email, via text, or telephone. I just want to make sure that everyone knows that I am open and available to always addressing the needs that we have in our community. I also want to say that when we had the temperatures that went down a few weeks ago, like right around Christmas time, where we had a warming shelter, myself and Councilman Sebastian and Councilwoman Willis, we got together and made sure that we had water available for residents that had lost water, that just had issues with Atlanta Watershed Management. And there were people that didn't have water for as long as a week, the people that lived in Fairburn and the people in my district that had low water pressure. So we just want to make sure that people know that we're working around the clock. We're monitoring emergencies and different things that come up as they happen in real time. And so I look forward to working with Councilman Reeves, who is in a neighboring district, making sure that we always support each other and support the citizens, you know, in the city at large. So even if you're not in District 7, if you reach out to me or communicate with me, I'll definitely be responsive, but I'll also definitely reach out to Councilman Reeves, always to provide an answer and make sure that you see how partnership throughout the districts work, and that we are a good government and that we're here to serve you. I think that was a mouthful, so I yield.
Hey, look here. That was a full plate. Look here, I'm full. It is, but however, it's always good to know. And so you are District 7, and the 7 does represent the number of completion. And so thank you for completing us. And she is a world changer. And so thank you for bringing World Changers on board as well. And so they are having an active member of World Changers does a lot too. And so because they've been ready to step up to the plate. And so we do have an asset and inroads to them as well. So shout out to Pastor Dollar and his group and their great group, and for Linda Pritchett as well. And so and on the 23rd we will be there. And so But this is also too, when we're talking about safety and safety summits, we do recognize, because we do not run from the issues, we do recognize that crime in our entire city has just slightly rose just a tad bit, but it's still underneath. But what we want to do is we want to take it head on. And so we do have our safety summit starting tomorrow, Tuesday at Burdett. And it's going to be one of the things that's about our neighborhood watch. And also one of the things we're going to do is give a shout out to our Sandpiper Cove community, who was a part of that neighborhood watch and established that. And so then we're going to continue on the 23rd, and then we're going to continue on through February and March as well. And so we're going to have a series of safety and bringing what is safety means to us and our community, and how that you can be involved and being and keeping our community safe. Because if you see something, you have to say something. And then, you know, you have to actually do something. And so with that mentality, being a doer, that is how we can reduce the significant crimes in our communities. We have to see it all the way through. And so, but I will leave this up to open questions for Ms. Pritchett. If anybody wants to have any questions for Ms. Pritchett and what that she has other than what you heard now, please, this is the time to go ahead and ask her. The open forum, this is your call, so ask away.
Hi, Mr. Corey Reeves, Councilman Reeves, Councilman Pritchett, thank you so much. Council Reeves, thank you for the invite. My name is Cheryl Colbreth, and I live in the Burdett Ridge subdivision, District 5. And I want to say first, thank you so much, Council Reeves, for inviting me. You have been amazing. Any questions I have, any concerns, you're right on it. You're on it, and I love that. Councilman Pritchett, you just gave me more confidence in the people that are here for us. And I thank you for that. Just this morning, I had GFL. I have gotten rid of GFL environmental trash. I've gotten rid of them because they are not, one, consistent. And we've had trash in our subdivision for 2 weeks without them picking up. Just this morning, we had GFL come through. They picked up my neighbor's trash and dumped it behind my husband's truck in the street. So you want to know where the trash is coming from? GFL Environmental had dragged that trash straight through the subdivision. I called my neighbor. Her family went out there. They picked up all of that trash. I have video footage and I have pictures. I sent them to Mr. Corey Reeves, Councilman Reeves, to show him this is unacceptable. And you're absolutely right. It's the mindset of the people. If they don't own homes, it's out there. GFL, maybe they're mad. I don't know. But I don't have nothing to do with that. All I have to do is make sure I handle my business and make sure our neighbors I've been over here 23 years. My neighbors have been over here longer than that. And this is truly unacceptable. And so I went on over to South Fulton Trash. I signed up with them. They missed 2 pickups. When first time the man came, he got mad at me. Well, where's your trash? How come it ain't on the street? I said, well, sir, who are you? He had no name on his truck. I don't know who he was. And nowadays, I'm not opening my door for anybody, right? So he says, well, I'm the people that you just hired, South Fulton, to pick up your trash. I said, well, why are you yelling at me? I had to call my husband. He turned around and came back to the subdivision. And now he's calm. I guess he thought I was a single woman. And my husband said, what's the problem? He said, I'm here to pick up your trash, sir. Oh, okay, no problem. My husband gave him the trash. He put it on the truck. It went on about his business. So I called the city of South Fulton. And the trash people. I said, wait a minute. I said, you guys, I still don't have a trash can, right? It's been over a month. I don't have a trash can. I paid them in full all the way up until June with a credit in July. Still no trash can. Well, I put my trash on the curb, but the dogs or the stray cats tear it up. Now I got to go out there and pick up trash when I've already paid for it. I canceled them. I don't know what to do, y'all. Help me.
Well, what we can do is thank you for notifying us. And so what we can do is provide you help. As the city of South Fulton was closed today due to the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, but as of tomorrow, we will be open. And so we will have this administration to get on that, as well as some other things, because well, we do know cleanliness is next to godliness. That says in that basic instruction before leaving earth, the Bible. And so that we do want a safe and clean city. And so we know if we have a safe and clean city, we will attract the people who want to be here. And so we were doing our best to make this the place where you want to come. And so that's not doing it by having, letting organizations and entities just run amok and do whatever they can and have no repercussions.
And that's what happening. I think they get these contracts and they got the contract and it's like, okay, I got it. Forget everybody else. I'm just going to do what I want to do. And that's not good because we don't mind paying. We're homeowners. We have value in our homes. We care about our community, right? And we care about where we live. And the mindset of some people is just not there. And I get it. We're trying to educate them. And you don't have to be in that mindset if you don't want to. People choose. You have a choice, right? So I'm just so tired. I'm over it. I did tell the city if I was going, I'll come back when y'all get it together. They said they don't have it together. They were honest. They don't have it together yet. They don't have their logos on their trucks and things like that. So that means, hey, if I'm home by myself and you come by to pick up my trash and you knock on my door, I'm not opening my door. I don't know who you are, right? So that's a safety caution for me because I work from home, educating on the mindset now that we speak of it, right? And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get our youth, and it starts at the home with the adults, but you can't get to the adults because some of them are too far gone. So you got to start there. And that's what I do. I'm educating the adults and children on that mindset and being good, maybe business owners, entrepreneurs, care about what you have something. But I need help.
Well, we are, if they say it takes a village, and so a village is not just one person, it is a collective mindset of us helping each other. And so am I my neighbor's keeper? Yes, I am. And so let's see what we can do to collaborate, to collectively come together to see what solution we can have. And so I'm open to that, definitely. And I'm pretty sure everybody else is on this call because one of the things that we do have in unison on this call is the trash and the dumping situation. And so I think that solutions are what we need to, come with, and solutions are what we need to enact and to try. And so because, you see a problem, let's try it out. But if you don't try, it's the sadness in that. And so, but we're here. So, Ms. Cheryl, we heard you. And so we will take you up on that, and we will be following up. You can believe it. And so thank you so much for your insight and your comments.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else?
Yes, I would like to say something.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I wanted to see is it code enforcer who comes around to the homeowners for having junk and trash and all kind of things that are not pleasing to the eye in front of their homes? Like, do we call code enforcer and make a complaint with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right, will do. Thank you.
All right. And Tamiko, can you put code enforcement's number on there and who they can call and the way that they can contact them as well, so we can have that in the chat. So we will have, and if anything you want to do is send it to code enforcement. Also, you can CC myself or Tamiko in on that email. And so that will allow us to follow up. It will allow us to, one, to track, and allow two, to follow up on where they at with getting that situation handled and remediated. So
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yes,
Also, I'm sorry, Councilman Reed, Jane Williams.
Hey,
Also,
how are you doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
All right.
Also, if she wants to first put it on C-Click Fix, because code enforcement will respond to that. So if you want to take a picture and put it on C-Click Fix, then that would be a way to reach code enforcement as well.
What is the name of that again? Can you tell me that again?
Yes, I put it in the chat for you. It's C, like you see, click, like you click something, fix, like you're fixing something.
Okay.
So it's an app that you download, and you take a picture and send that in to them. They will respond.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome.
And
Thank you.
also, I learned this weekend, that if there are other issues in the area, the C-Click Fix, you can go on there on issues and it will show you the other issues in the area. Thanks to Ms. Collins.
Oh, that, Ms. Jane, this is Chandra. I want to add something to what you said too, for the woman that wants to now use that
Ms.
app.
Courtney? Uh-huh.
Just in case you are not wanting your name publicized on there, you can do it privately. That way your personal name will not reflect in the complaint or the issue that you're posting. So
Okay.
look for
It'll ask
that
you
as
that.
well.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
thank you.
I don't use my name either.
Thank you so
I
much.
do.
use
I
my
got a
name
nick.
because I just want to see how as well as I use my name. So I just,
Yeah, I use
um,
mine too.
but if you do not want to, I do understand, could completely be anonymous. That's one of the good things about that, and is that you can remain anonymous. And so, because a lot of people fear retaliation of some kind, but but at the end of the day, we do appreciate you using that app and reporting it. And I do want to say this as well. Ms. Jane did say that she is one of our City of Southwood's influencers. To my day ones, as I'm getting ready to put out our newsletter, mail it out to the constituency. And I just thought it befitting that, my day ones. And so whether it's support or not, it doesn't matter. People who are committed to a process and committed to understanding about government, I think that they should be rewarded. So it's going to be set to come out around about the 14th of February. And so that y'all gonna be a part of the front page. And so along with myself and my administration, is that y'all gonna be at hearts in y'all faces will be the if you so shall choose. And for picture day, we're gonna be doing a brunch. And the one thing that I want to be taking to this brunch is coffee and eggs, is because I want to see, to show you what excellence looks like, to show you how I really feel about you. And it doesn't have anything to do with support. It has everything to do with commitment. And so it's because y'all been here day one. And so y'all have seen the good, the bad, the ugly, and y'all have seen what we have done. And so, and holding accountable. And I just think that y'all should be rewarded for that. And, and also, considered for just showing you what leadership looks like, because leadership is not just one person. Leadership is a group, is an activity, is people holding you accountable, and that's accountability. And so we are accountable for our actions, and we will do that. And so we will be sending that out for our day ones, and we'll pick a day. Come down and have a brunch. It's a very excellent environment. And I just think that, and that's also going to be picture day, right? And so, so look for that to be coming, because we're going to do that in about a week or two. And so as we get ready to go to print and to send that out, as I do want to recognize you as leaders as well. And so, and I appreciate all that you do. So anyway, do we have any more questions or anything else that we can answer right here? This is your call. Go ahead.
Yes, Corey.
Thank you. Leadership is a behavior, not a position. You're absolutely right.
Corey. Mr. Conway. You hear me?
Mr. Conway, go ahead, sir.
How are you tonight? Did the meeting last Thursday, I guess the weather council that meeting, on the cottage houses, cottage homes that was supposed to have been at the church last Thursday?
Right. We're going to we postpone that to this week. It's going to take place this week. And so I believe that is in the chat too. And so it's going to be the 18th. And we're looking, I want to do it at the Economic Development Office on Old National, seeing that that's opening up. And so, but if we cannot do that, we'll look at having that Birdette Gym. And so, but staff was not going to be able to attend, so we did have to postpone that.
Okay. I went on today, and after I came from downtown at the MLK parade downtown, I thought I'd ride through there. And I did. I went, looked at the place. The guy last week, Mr. Hull, that's his name?
Yes, sir, Mr. Derek Hull.
Yeah, he says that those cottage homes would be comparable to the existing houses and in the area. Did I understand him to say that Is that right? Did I understand him saying if I seen the sign said they're like 180,000 for the cottage homes. So I'm assuming that if there was some $250,000, $300,000 homes in there, but then the cottage home wouldn't be a good fit for that neighborhood.
Well, one is a wide range. And so currently right now in our suburban 2 development, you can have cottage homes with the least amount of a minimum floor heated space of 450 square feet. So what we're trying to do is have that reduced down to 250 square feet that some can have in. And so, but price per, because it's price per square footage is because it stands that it's a little bit more expensive to construct cottage homes based on the square building materials per square footage price. And however, but some of them are from anywhere from 110,000. But I have seen some of as much as 350,000. So what we want to do is we want to make it affordable for people who can afford it. And so that is all over and that is throughout. And so if you can afford 100,000, yes. But if you can afford 350,000, then yes as well. And so, but as far as, them, comparable to a existing community, one of the things that you would have as far as comps is you would have it compared to the comp of another construction or building like in that area. And so it wouldn't take the property values down because it wouldn't even compare to what is already existing. So, but there are some that are in they range from anywhere from 100,000 to 300,000.
Yeah, my concern would be where would you put those in the city of South Fulton?
That's why we having a conversation, and so that's why I want you to come on there and be there. And so as we look at the map, where can we put those? And so this is not something that a Corey Reeves effort want to do. This is something that a community effort want to do. And so one of the things that we heard from the last go around was, there was no community input on where they would go in the location, and so that is why it is important for the community to be there at large so we can look at areas in the city of where they can go. So this will have your direct input to where they can go. So you being at a meeting would be very important.
Well, those cottage homes, Councilman Reeves, I have an appointment with them actually to do a walkthrough with them. Just look at the area. And down there where it's at on Fagabe Road, those cottage homes down there, I mean, if somebody want to live down there, great. I won't. I wouldn't want to have anything down there until they clean up that area. It's all the way at the bottom, and
it's all the way at the end. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, all the way at the end. But that road itself, it's just not appealing. And hopefully,
right. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. I'll finish.
Hopefully they'll be really cleaning up this area. I mean, I've had a whole lot of people ask to buy my house. I'm not selling my house. Number one. Okay. I love my area. I love my neighborhood, but those cottage homes down there, you're right. They're between $100,000 and $300,000 for them homes.
Correct. And so if you go down to the end, the cottage homes are in the end, but if you go all the way around and back to the curve, then what that is there's a house back there as well. There's just one house. It did into a house back there. And so, but in the middle and between, I talked to College Park and said, what are y'all gonna put there? I said, ideal place would be a park that will put between the house and those cottage homes so that you can kind of, improve the community as well and to repave the streets. And so, but it's a gravel road as you go back up there towards the end. And so just past that, because right next to those cottage homes before you get there, is an apartment complex.
Lord Jesus.
Well, he's real. And a part of that apartment complex sits in the city of South Fulton. It's two parcels. It's part of the majority is in College Park and some of it in South Fulton. And so what we're trying to do is really what I want to do is I want to land swap, because across the street is South Fulton. And so it's kind of a jaded map. And so we're in talks with College Park, myself and Councilmember Williams. And it's to talk to College Park to see if how we can maneuver through that, because those apartment complexes, what would be ideal there is a whole senior village, from independent living to assisted living to hospice. And so that's something that can be done, but we have to work. It's a whole
Because they were all
situation with that.
those apartments, some of them over there are abandoned. They're not even in use,
Correct. And so
even go to the left when I go.
right, and that's what I'm saying. And so that will be, if you go left, that would be the whole side of the city of South Fulton. And so then on the right side will be College Park. And so that's what we're trying to just kind of work out. It's been a process, and so let's just pray that it all will work out. So I think that's will be a solution that we can have, because as they get ready to redevelop the discount mall, and then as you see, the Target is torn down. And so that it's the same owner who owns both of those parcels. And so we're trying to get built up and see what we can do with that corner and with that corridor. And so how we can make that, amenable and attractive to people who want to come.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so I look forward to seeing you there, Mr. Conway. I do look forward to seeing you at the presentation and being alive. Because the guy who actually built those cottages will be in the building as well. We invited the Micro Life Institute. So we can help me out. What's his name? His name is escaping me right now.
And when is that event again?
The 18th.
Okay.
Tamika, what's his name from Micro Life? That we went out to the tour. Anyway, so.
Oh, you mean the tour in
the tour down in
Clarkston?
Clarkston. Yes, I'm looking right at.
Was it Michael?
No, it's help me out, somebody help me out. Anyway, when we come to this name, we'll get to it. But we invited him as well, and so because we want the people to get educated on what this is and what this is like. And so it's not for everybody. I want people to get in the mindset. It's not for you living there, but it's also for opportunities for people who do want to downsize, for seniors who want to downsize. Somebody said they want to live in one because it would be claustrophobic. I get that. But, one of the things is that people who have been in military barracks and people who have been with alternative backgrounds and so want to make a new way for their life. And if we talk about rooming and boarding houses, then we look at a square footage of 120 square feet for a room. And I know people who rent out rooms. I have an example. Will Johnson. Thank you, Tamiko. Awesome. And so Will Johnson, and so that's his name for Micro Life Institute. But we do have people who live on Prime Example. There's a family that I look after, and I take care of it off of Fulton Industrial and in town. And so they've been living in this one room. It's a grandmother, grandmother, and her son, and they have 4 kids. And so between 2 rooms. And so they share that. They've been living there for like 2 years. And so but to be able to have, and I literally measured out it's 96 square feet. So it's less than 250 square feet. And so they will be able to have a home and own land that they have. And so, which has room to expand. And that's, but I do want to be clear on what we already have existing as far as legislation. And so they can have a minimum of 450 square feet. So we just want to have people have housing choices and opportunities to come in, and particularly with seniors who are one of the biggest groups of people that when we talk about affordable housing, and so that will be affected by this greatly, and particularly the market rate. And as they get, as some people are getting put out and evicted, all right? And so we just want to have them somewhere where they can relocate within this ecosystem, and then, to do our due diligence but make it equitable for everybody. And so it's amenable for everybody with the input from all on, being able to have places and areas where they can go within this ecosystem as well. So it comes with your support. It comes with, your input. And so that's one of the things that I strive on is I believe in collaboration. I don't believe in individualism. I believe in collaboration. And that's why we're here to have the conversation to make sure that we collaborate on this. And so, as you see in the chat, the STs and Ravenwood's conversation will be tomorrow. Please come down and join that conversation. And so the owners of that property and plus their attorneys will be there. And so this is one of the times that you can have your voices heard. I encourage everybody to be there. The reason why is because this is going to set precedents for areas throughout our community and throughout our city. So it's very imperative that you be there regardless of what area you stay in. Because this Ravenwoods and STs, this has been a 2.5 year process. Ms. Jones can tell you that, and this is culminating. And so we have been on this, and thank you to steadfast neighbors and community members. And so one of the reasons of why we are making this happen. So please come join us. Ms. Glenda, did you want to share what you just put in the chat? I couldn't see it all the way, but go ahead and unmute yourself and put it in the chat and just go ahead and speak to it, what you just said.
Yes, how are you?
That's
My question is, who will finance these tiny homes? Will it be the builders or financial institutions? And will the criteria be the same as financing a traditional home?
Please come attend the meeting for the discussion, because that is why we're having the discussion. So what those can be answered by the subject matter experts. And so, because to me, they will be, able to, be financed as a regular home would be. It's just a smaller footprint. And so, but that's part of the discussion. And so I'm sure you will be there. And so let's get all these questions answered. And
so that's tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow
the meeting is tomorrow at 6 at Burdette.
Yes, we have it's at 7. The first part is going to be the community policing, in which neighborhood watch. And so, which then we're going to follow into that as well, because as these streets get cut into, that's still not over with me, because I do have a call and a response to him based on what Ms. Simmons has sent the information she sent to me. I do have a request in to meet with Mayor Williams and to the HOA at Sable Glen. And so, we'll see how amenable they are to have access to come from the back of their community to cut in and come into Rural 85. So we will still be talking about that. Go ahead. All right. Anybody else? Any more questions?
A couple of hands up, Councilman.
You said, well, pardon me?
I see a couple of hands raised.
Okay, go ahead. Whose hands are up? Let's go ahead and get them.
Marion Tucker and Marcus Powell.
Okay, Ms. Tucker, go ahead. Ms. Tucker, if you can unmute yourself and go ahead.
She's unmuted.
No, she's unmuted.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, Marcus Powell is
Mr. Powell, go ahead. Mr. Powell, go ahead.
He's muted.
Mr. Powell, if you can unmute yourself, go ahead. If you hit the unmute button, you can go ahead.
Look like he's trying to do something.
All right. Well, whenever they feel like coming on board, if anybody else wants to say anything, and so.
Corey, I have a question. Corey, this is Conway.
Go ahead, Mr. Conway.
At one time the South Fulton Police Department had certain officers assigned to certain areas. Is that program still in effect? it was, we had like a sergeant, I forget what the name was, but is that still in effect?
I believe so. And so, because we do have a precinct opening now where the old Jackson Music used to be. And I was hoping that Ms. Pritchett would still be on to talk about that be headquartered in the park that's coming on at
Yeah,
the
I think
end.
she's
at the
still
park.
on. She's still on, Council.
Ms.
I'm
Pritchett,
still
okay.
here.
Yeah,
She's
cool.
still
So
here.
do you want to share inroads and insight to Highway 279 and 138 and what's coming there for the police headquarters?
Yes, that area, we purchased that land and we're looking at it being a public safety complex, as well as where we'll have some of our court, our municipal court. So that's an area that we're in the phases of talking about how we want to develop it, and it's something that we should be able to see in about 2 to 3 years. But for the time being, I believe a few years ago, the beats were being redrawn. So we used to have community police officers, and that's why Captain Cotton Tukes she schedules coffee with a cop so that people can get to meet the police officers in their area, form relationships with them. And then also that's why she's putting together the community crime watch programs so that each community can have their officer that they can go to when different things happen. And I believe, Councilman Reeves, that tomorrow, Captain Cotton Tukes is going to be having an event over at Burdette Gym tomorrow night in District 5, where she's going to be going over those things, safety issues, and then I think she'll touch on lightly the issue of the constitutional carry, where that took place on January the 1st. It became a law where everyone in Georgia can carry a gun, concealed or unconcealed, without having to have a permit for it. So those type of issues will be talked about tomorrow. And then tomorrow, if you have that kind of question for Captain Cotton Tukes, I'm sure that she'll let you know who the community officers that you have that can come out. When you need extra patrols, you're also able to ask your councilman to direct the police to do additional patrols, especially if you know that you're going out of town and your house is going to be vacant, and you don't want anything to happen. You can place your house on a list where the police will come around and do additional security checks and things. And there's also something that the police does where they will come and do a safety assessment to your house, and this is totally free. And they will provide you a sheet that you can register all of your items. So like the serial numbers on your televisions and, all your valuables and things like that. So if your house is ever broken into and people try to sell things off at the pawn shops, the pawn shops actually look at those lists, and the detectives do, and they try to cross-reference, when those type of things happen. So it's just, different safety measures that safety measures and programs that the police has put in place. And I hope that answered your question related to, I guess, the community officers and community policing.
Thank you, absolutely. And so that is one of the things that we did talk about earlier. And these community safety meetings are open to the entire city. So it's like one thing that what we're doing about safety is we're starting off the year out there. How do we be safe? But it's not just a one day or one-off. It's a 3 series, every month series, January, February, March, a whole quarter of information that we can have. And then so what we can do is measure from meeting to meeting what has been done or instituted or implemented, as well as and with your input. But Ms. Pritchett, while I do have on that, I do also see on here your former opponent, Mr. Clark. And this is just me, because I'm just straight off the cuff, is that we both have you on here. So is it something, because he has an IT background and you have an attorney background, and we look at our integrated systems, particularly with AI and now technology. We are District 5, I have dubbed as the technology district. Do you see yourself, and do you see you working with him and looking at aspects on what we can do from a technological aspect on how we can have integrated systems and bringing that towards our public safety?
Well, Councilman Reeves, we have an IT department, and as you know, Mr. Namor Strickland runs our IT department, and I'm not really into it ain't broke, don't fix it, but you know, it's always good to find out from the citizens where their deficiencies or their issues that can use improvement or something, you know, where you find vulnerabilities or ways to be more efficient in what we do. So yesterday, I mean, not yesterday, I keep saying that, but it was Saturday when we did a community cleanup. Mr. Clark came out, you know, so I'm always here to work with the citizens and people that just want to contribute information or, you know, just want to contribute their talents and their services. But I am not the decider of what happens when it relates to IT. That's something that, you know, Mr. Clark is certainly can certainly make an appointment to meet with Mr. Strickland and his team, and you know, make any suggestions that he would like, and to all the other council members, because it's not like I have a specific IT program for District 7. It's, you know, for the city as a whole. So he could talk to you too, Councilman Reeves. But I appreciate anyone that offers themselves to serve and to contribute to the progress of our city.
Absolutely. But what I say, stay there, Ms. Pritchett, hold on, because what we have to do is we have to talk about these maps. And so Ms. Pritchett has been on me since day one about this map situation. And so I love it so much. And so it's because Point of Ridge, okay, was drawn in to District 5. And I was very clear from day one that, you know, when it was left unrepresented, that's the area I grew up. 1110 Buckhurst Drive. That's where I grew up at, right? So that's we will fix the potholes and sinkholes on Welcome on Field with Mr. Collins. I got you, public works. And so is that, but Tamil, can you send Mr. Pritchett, because I've been telling her I'm going to send her these maps. And so can you send her the maps? Because this is the 8th revision that we did have on the maps. And so one area of my community had to be drawn out, and that was Melody Manor community. And then Point of Ridge was drawn in. And so I'm selfish in that manner because I grew up in that community, and I just want them to be represent the actually home and the address where I grew up. So I take onus of that. And you know, as I do know that because it was left unrepresented, that they didn't really have a voice, so they didn't really say they have a choice. But I did speak about it, and then we did take this maps on a tour. And so I just want to have the air clear, because you know, I mean, we are, you know, it's something that was done, you know, and vindictive or anything. It was just one of these things that just happened. And so it had to take place. And so, because we did have to come into balance. And so coming into balance is that one area had 18,000 in their community, whereas we had 13,000. And so that was a significant difference. And so one of the things that we did was
You muted yourself. Okay.
But I did want to just have this open dialogue while we're on here, my colleague, Ms. Pritchett. So I want to know, people, we do not have bad blood. We do not have anything,
me too.
None of that situation. It was just, we did have a concern, and it was a very well meaningful concern. And so, but you know, to talk it out, and as people know that we have, this is the open dialogue forum, and this is, we have our discussions right here. So, you know, it's so that we are all clear, and we do have an understanding, we understand the situation. So, but Ms. Pritchett, go ahead and talk about that and voice your concern to that, and so that the people can understand where we at and what is on your mind about and your thought about that process.
Well, I know that not everyone is happy about my opinion related to the maps, but it's just my opinion, you know. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but it's my opinion. So basically, with regards to the maps, I know that you say that's the area that you grew up, you care about, you take an interest in it, but the issue that I have with the whole issue related to the maps is that District 7, yes, it was unrepresented, but there were people that were assigned to kind of pick up some of the slack or deal with that representation issue. And because it was a lot going on, I think, for those months where those maps were being decided, there is a lot of drama. And in the midst of a lot of drama, people tune out and they miss, a particular hearing or, a public hearing or a meeting related to maps. I particularly think that I keep my ear to the ground. I typically know what's going on. And I didn't even know when they had meetings related to the maps. The people in my district, people that I've talked to, they do not even realize that the maps have changed and what the changes are. I have yet to see the maps. Not because I haven't searched for them, I've requested them and I still have not received them. So, as a new city, I know that we have growing pains, that we're still in our infancy. We're still trying to make a lot of things work. We're in kind of a transition period, even as we speak, as we go into this new year of elections. So I'm not bashing anyone or saying that anyone did anything intentionally.
Ms. Pritchett, you cut out.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit. Councilmember Pritchett, you cut out a little bit.
She cut out.
Right. And so I'll wait till she come back on. So we will, and trust me, she came in the door asking about these maps.
It's the internet connection. Hello.
No, it's fine. We can hear you now. Go ahead.
I'm back. Okay. So basically, it's just like having somebody order your meal for you at a restaurant and they ordered you a steak and you're a vegetarian. We weren't consulted with. District 7, the people that I've talked to, and I've knocked on over 5,000 doors. So, no harm, no foul. We'll get over this hump. We'll learn what the district is. We'll shift, we'll make the adjustments where we need them to be made. But I will note that my political career began in redistricting when maps were shifting, changed, and things were gerrymandered and a new district came out of it. This is back in 2010. So I'm just letting you know I'm very acquainted with the process. And I just always think that full transparency in terms of having everybody in the conversation is always important. And, I wish that additional efforts had been made. I heard that there were a lot of efforts made. So I'm not going to say that, nobody knew about them. I didn't know, and the majority of people I talked to didn't know, but I look forward to when we receive the maps, being able to reach out to the new people in our district, and also, even when we became a city, there are still people that don't understand that they live in the city of South Fulton, because we just went through this water crisis just around the Christmas time, where in the area where I live is Fairburn. It's South Fulton, Fairburn, right? With the Fairburn zip code. And where I live, we actually pay for electric utility to the city of Fairburn. And the people in the city of Fairburn wind up not having any water at all. The people in my community, we had low water pressure, but nonetheless, when people needed water, because they had none and they wanted to be able to even just like flush their toilets with water, when they wanted to come to the warming stations that we had requesting cases of water, I'm not saying anyone was turned away, but it was a lot of confusion as to, hey, present your driver's license. Do you live in South Fulton? Do you live in Fairburn? Do you live in Union City? Oakley Township is split in half between Fairburn and Union City as far as the zip codes go. So there are a lot of people still that don't understand that they live in the city of South Fulton. So I'm big on information. I would like everybody to understand and know where they live and what's going on. So There's no smoke, no beef. You know, we're going to work together. We're going to make it work. But I just wanted to voice that because there are people that still don't know and still don't understand what this means. And you're talking about people, especially in Point Ridge, they've been District 7 from the beginning. And the people in Melanie Manor have been in District 5 from the beginning. So it's like a swap and a shift that it's going to work one way or another, but you know, we're just going to have to make it work. And I believe that we'll be successful in doing that together.
Absolutely, because let me just tell you right here, the people who know me, as you have 5, 6, and 7. It don't matter if you contact 7, it don't matter if you contact 5, it don't matter if you contact 6. Don't nothing separate us but the trees. And so you get one, you get us all. And so just because you're in a particular area does not mean you can reach out to the person who you want to reach out to, because we are a team. Okay, so that's what I preach and that's what I do. And so those who still want to reach out to Ms. Pritchett, hey, go ahead and do that, because she is the person who can get things done. And so she has proven that. And so that's what you get over at 5, 6, and 7. You get a collaboration. And so you see, get us one, you get us all. And so that's what we just want to be able to have and just understand. And so because some are right. And then that is why we depend on, because you spoke about IT, as we need to have the technical boundaries of the city of South Fulton. And so we want people to know that, you know, what city are you in? Because when it comes time to vote, when it comes time to call on your elected officials, or when you have an issue, you want to know what city you need to call. And so that's one of the things that we need to do a better job of as a whole. So I see we have a couple more hands up. And Ms. Pritchett, thank you so much, Councilwoman Pritchett, for being on this call tonight and joining us. You're so appreciated for that. So, you know, thumbs up to you. And so do we have any more hands up? You said we have some hands up?
Well, we have several hands up, even though it's 7:43 right now, Councilman.
Right. We will have a hard stop in 7 minutes at 7:50, because it is
okay.
Monday night. The football is on, and y'all see they just delivered my wings. So, you know, I mean, so it's time to go ahead and get us all football on, but we will. This is important. So go ahead with your first hand up. Go ahead with your question.
I have a quick question. Well, first of all, I want to thank Councilwoman Linda Becquer-Pritchett on your victory. And also, I know we're gonna kind of got past this, but my hand had been up for a while. So I just wanted to find out, Councilwoman, what are your thoughts with cottage homes? I don't think we had a chance to ask you that. So do you have any thoughts on cottage homes in the city of South Fulton?
Cottage homes, I guess, is one of those concepts that is probably energy efficient, space efficient. There's probably really a great need for it, you know, depending on the family dynamic. They're probably great starter uppers and stuff like that. But we as a council are still receiving information, like say best practices on where they should go, on you know, who the builders are. I have some townhouses in my district that they were started before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic happened, they wound up just sitting there and getting rained on and being exposed to the elements. And unfortunately, then they started building, and now those people have significant issues with those homes. So we want to make sure that if that they go in the right places, that they are able to be completed, that they use quality materials and different things, and that we're not also so gung-ho to just develop, that we are overcrowding our city, because we already have certain areas that have traffic issues, and we want to make sure that any land that we have that is undeveloped, that we just don't crowd things in there just for the sake of putting another development project. So I'm not opposed to cottage homes. I think it's probably like a cute idea, you know, of sorts, but we have to get more information, and we have to come up with a best practices and a policy as far as where they go, and you know, how we approve them, because this is going to require some zoning changes, or you know, special use permits and things like that. So I'm not saying we have to slow down on development, but we have to take in consideration when you have a party at your house that you were going to invite 5 people to dinner, and then the guest list turns into 25, you need more food. So we don't want to become the city that nobody can get in and out of, and that we're overcrowding and stuff like that. Because as Councilman Reeves did say, if my district, which I'm assuming that's where he got the figures from, if my district had 18,000 people and his district may have had like 13, we experienced some growth, and as a city, when you experience growth, you got to be able to be prepared for the municipal services that come along with that growth. And that's really the reason that we became a city, because the unincorporated parts of Fulton County, which we are now South Fulton, was the leftover parts of all other kind of cities that were not able to effectively service us with municipal services. So when you hear of that part of Fairburn, they didn't want that land. When you hear of College Park, they didn't want that either. Atlanta, they didn't want it because they would have to have more personnel and more resources and more facilities to be able to deal with that population. So we're talking about 100,000 people that was just left over somewhere in Fulton County, and we became South Fulton. So when you look at adding more people to that mix and growing and growing and growing, we don't want to bust at the seams without being prepared to do it, in the right way. So that's my position. I'm still open to just listening to it all and, just exploring what works best for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ms. Sheila, you're absolutely right. There's no growth without infrastructure improvements. So I hate to do this, but we are going to take one more question. Because in the second time, then we will be able to be finished up and wrap up. So in the respect of everybody's time, y'all know I'm a stickler for that, but I did want to allow more time because we did have our esteemed colleague, Councilwoman Linda Becquer-Pritchett, to come on. So one more question. So who had that?
And I think that was iPad. Now, I don't know who iPad is, but I believe I saw her.
Please state
hand
your
up
name,
first.
iPad, because we do like to have people's names on here.
Mhm.
For all reasons of why we should have people's names on here. So everybody who has been on this call understands why. So go ahead, iPad, state your name and then your question. Okay, we'll move on to the next question. Out there, next hand, right? Go ahead.
Latanya Rucker.
Hey, Ms. Rucker, how are you? Go ahead. What's your question?
I'm good. Right quick, Councilman, let me go back a little bit. You mentioned Ravenwood STs and Sabre Glen HOA.
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be a meeting, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And so,
okay, that's what I need to know. When is the meeting? Where is it going to be and what time?
There's a meeting tomorrow at 7 at Burdett Park. But we haven't had, but I think Mr. Torrey Dwight is the HOA or POA president. And so I have not reached out to him yet, but I know that you are a part of that community. And so if you want to come out there and join the meeting as well, to have your input, but it has no official meeting has been set, but there will be one before the next council meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:50. Please join us tomorrow live. We will be at Burdett with our community police. Ms. Pritchett, will you be able to come back on at any time that is called upon and asked to come back on to the call?
Sure thing. Anytime you need me, just let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll be around.
You have an open invitation. And so, yes, ma'am. And so we thank you so much. And so to all of y'all, we do want to thank you for time for taking out of your day and happy MLK Day. And I hope that you are doing everything you can to execute the dream, hold on to your dreams, and so that you can make them a reality. And so do that. We support you in all that you do and all your endeavors. And remember one thing, I love you. You can do absolutely nothing about it. And let's keep the needle moving forward in a positive manner. Join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock at Burdett. We will be live. We have 2 meetings. We have the community police and we do have the SDs and Ravenwoods meeting following that. And so I look forward to seeing you there. And then all y'all doing, go do greatness and say something positive about the city of South Fulton, because you truly are the best part of it. And we've been to that. Have a good night.
Good night,
Thank you. Good
everyone.
night,
Corey.
everybody.
Ms. Pritchett.
Corey, real quick,
Yes.
I got on this call late.
Ms. Linda